So listen here, students. In the theory of probability and probability distribution, we completed part 1, and this is a part 2. We can say in the probability chapter, theoretical frequency distributions here. Theoretical frequency distributions here. So small introduction is there here. The probability distribution of a random variable may be as follows here. Theoretical listing of outcomes and probabilities which can be obtained from a mathematical model representing some phenomenon of interest. Okay, here the mathematical models also involved while we are discussing these frequency distributions, and an empirical listing of outcomes associated with their subjective or contributed probabilities representing the degree of conviction of the decisions maker has to the likelihood of the possible outcomes. So here mainly we are focusing on experiment as well as here the empirical experiment we are going to do, and outcomes will be we are need to find out here. Among theoretical and expected frequency distribution, the following 6 are the more popular. So here theoretical distribution value will be there, and expected frequency we need to find out here. So from this frequency distribution, theoretical frequency distribution chapter here, we are going to discuss these 6. Generally we will discuss these 6, but according to our syllabus, the only 3 are the most important here. The first one is here binomial distribution, multinomial distribution, negative nominal distribution, Poisson distribution, hypergeometric distribution. Then the last one is the normal distribution. Normal distribution. So here in our class we will discuss binomial distribution, number 1. This is important one, and the Poisson distribution. This is also important, and the last one is the normal distribution. So these 3 things we will discuss from the theoretical frequency distribution part. Okay, so among these are the 5 distributions are of discrete type, and the last one is a continuous type. 5 distributions here. These first 5 are the discrete type, and the last one is the continuous type. It may be also pointed out that of the 6 distribution mentioned, the binomial, Poisson, normal find much more wider application in practice than the other 3. That is the reason only we are going to discuss these 3 important distributions. Okay, here wider application is there in practice among these 3. They are the binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, and the normal distribution. So today we will discuss what is a binomial distribution, theoretical part here. So listen carefully, my dear students. Binomial distribution. The binomial distribution, also known as Bernoulli distribution. Okay, Bernoulli distribution is associated with the name of a Swiss mathematician, James Bernoulli. James Bernoulli, also known as Jacques or Jacob. Okay, Jacques or Jacob, 1645 to 1705. Binomial distribution is a probability distribution expressing the probability of one set of dichotomous alternatives, that is success or failure. This distribution may be used to describe a wider variety of processes in business and the social sciences as well as other areas. The type of process which gives rise to this distribution is usually referred to as Bernoulli trial or as a Bernoulli process. The mathematical model for a Bernoulli process developed under concept of a series of experimental trials. Okay, this binomial distribution was given by the Swiss mathematician James Bernoulli, and this distribution is also called as Bernoulli distribution. Bernoulli distribution, as well as here it is also referred to as Bernoulli trials or a Bernoulli process. Okay, then here the few assumptions are given. You see these assumptions, important assumptions are there here. The first assumption says that an experiment is performed under the same condition for a fixed number of trials, say n. Okay, the equal chances are given to the two teams, either A or B. How many members they are participating in a experiment, the equal chances are given. So here the same conditions will be there. Same condition means what are the rules and regulations are fixed by the team management, okay, to the all the players, all the conditions, the same condition which is applied to the player A, the same condition is applied to the player B also, and player C also, player D also. Okay, fix the number of trials. How many trials are there? The same way it is applicable for the remaining three members. How far we are giving the importance for the player A, the same importance will be given for the remaining players. This is the first experiment. In each trial, there are only two possible outcomes of experiment. Okay, in each trial, there are only two possible outcomes will be there. The first one is the success or the failure. They are called success or failure. Each trial, there are only two possible outcomes. When tossing a coin, okay, only two things will be happen. That is a success or failure. Either it is a head or tail. The sample space of possible outcomes on each experimental trial is yes. That is success. What is the outcome? Throwing a dice or pick up one card from a pack of cards. We pick up that card, we call it as experiment, and the outcome, the card, whether it is a queen or king or any number, that is the success, probability of success. Or tossing a coin. When we toss a coin, immediately we are going to get the result, either it is a head or tail. That head or tail we call it as a outcome. Okay, that is the success. The next, number 3 assumption here, number 3rd one here, you observe carefully. The probability of a success denoted by P remains constant from trial to trial. P remains constant here. Probability remains constant from one trial to another trial. The probability of a failure denoted by Q. Okay, my dear students, you have to remember this important assumption, the 3rd one. The probability of success denoted by P. Okay, probability of success is denoted by P. That is the probability of a failure remains constant from one trial to another trial or trial to trial. The probability of a failure denoted by Q is equal to 1 minus P. When we had P plus Q is equals to 1. Already we discussed in the previous classes a number of times. P stands for probability of success. Q stands for probability of failure. To get to know the value of Q, simply what we are going to do means here, okay, this is the most important thing, that is 1 minus P. P stands for probability of success. Okay, to get the value of Q, that is the probability of failure, what we are going to do, we are going to follow one small simple formula, that is 1 minus P. Okay, when this P plus Q is equals to 1, simply to know the value of Q, what we are going to do, 1 minus P we are doing. Okay, if the probability of success is not the same in each trial, we will not have binomial distribution. So this is the most important thing here. Then next one, the 4th one, the trials are statistically independent. That is, outcomes of any trial or sequence of trial do not affect the outcomes of subsequent trials here. Okay, all the trials are statistical, they are independent, they are not depending on the another trial. Okay, they are not depending, they are independent. So here simply what happens here, the outcomes of any trial or sequence of trials do not affect the outcomes of subsequent trials, because the only reason is here, the trials are statistically independent. They are using the word independent, they are not depending on the each and other trial. Okay, these are the few assumptions. So in these assumptions, the important thing is here, P stands for probability of success, Q stands for probability of failure, Okay, the probability of failure, it will be known when the probability of success value is known to us. The simple way is that here 1 q is equals to 1 minus p. Okay, 1 minus p. How this 1 we got here? P plus q is equals to 1. This is a most important thing you have to remember. Okay, and these are the 4 assumptions. Then next, these are the properties. Okay, please note down the properties also. Properties of the binomial distribution. Number of times this question is repeated. Okay, the shape and location of binomial distribution changes as p changes for a given n, or has n changes for a given p. P increases for the fixed n, the binomial distribution shifts to the right. Okay, the next one, the mode of binomial distribution is equal to the value of x. Value of x.
Sir,
Chepna.
the mode, sir, the made ka, sir, the mode of the binomial distribution.
Wait. I'm checking. Don't worry. Wait a minute. Right. So here the mode of binomial distribution is equal to the value of x, which has the largest probabilities. Okay. The next, has n increases for a fixed p, the binomial distribution moves to the right, flattens and spreads out. The mean of the binomial distribution, that is n into p, obviously increases as n increases with p, held constant. For larger n, there are more possible outcomes of a binomial experiment, and the probabilities associated with any particular outcome becomes smaller. Okay, here in binomial distribution, while we are doing the problem, from the left side to the right side, we are moving the values. Then you will understand this small definition when we solve the problem. Then you see the fourth property here. If n is large, and if neither p nor q is too close to 0, okay, the binomial distribution can be closely approximately by a normal distribution with standardized variable gives by z is equals to the small formula you need to remember. Z is equals to x minus n into p divided by under root n into pq. The approximation becomes better with increasing n. Okay. So you observe the first one, the shape and location of binomial distribution changes. While we are doing the problem, the shape and the location of binomial distribution, it will be changes from one step to another step. Then here the mode of binomial distribution equal to the values of x, which has the largest probabilities here. Okay, then importance of binomial distributions are there here. You carefully observe the importance of binomial distribution. This is also important question. It is also repeated in an examination point of view. The binomial distribution is a discrete probability distribution useful in describing an enormous variety of real life events here. Okay, for example, a quality control inspector wants to know the probability of a defective light bulbs in a random sample of 10 bulbs. If 10% of bulbs are defective, he can quickly obtain the answer from the table of binomial probability distribution. The binomial distribution can be used, okay, when number one, the outcome or results of each trial in the process are characterized as one of the two types of possible outcomes. In other words, they are attributes. Okay, here the possibilities of outcome of any trial does not change and is independent of the results of previous trials. So this importance of binomial distribution says that here a binomial probability distribution is a discrete probability distribution. Okay, discrete probability distribution is nothing but here they are independent probability distribution. The results always, the outcome will be independent, they are not dependent. And when you apply these binomial distribution in our real life, enormous variety of events will be taking place here. So here a small example is given. And this example says that a quality control inspector wants to know the probability of a defective light bulbs in a random sample of 10 bulbs. If 10% of bulbs are defective, okay, out of 10 bulbs, we find out that here only 10% of bulbs are defective. Simply by observing this table, we will know how many bulbs are the defective here. Okay, based on these two things here, the outcome or results of each trial in the process are characterized as one of two types as possible outcomes. In other words, they are attributes. In other words, they are called as the attributes here. The possibility of outcomes of any trial does not change because they are independent of results of previous trials. Okay, because the independent of results will be there, but results are not depending on each trial previously we done. Okay, the next here problem is there, we will discuss in the next class. Tomorrow we will discuss the problematic part here. So today we will end at this theoretical part only.